Hey, what's up, guys? I got to thinking the other day. I just, between doing my movie reviews and doing random comedy skits or random insanity videos like I do every once in a while, I wanted to start doing just a basic vlog. No fancy special effects, no editing. If I screw up, I screw up. I just wanted to do a basic vlog about something that I'm very passionate about. I kept wondering, it just came very, very clear to me the other day. I was sick as a dog the other day here at the house, and the next day I was on the mend. I took a day off from work, and I basically, in my stupor or in my, sitting around being sick all day, it came clear why I keep coming back to horror movies. I do reviews. I absolutely love Clint Eastwood movies, Chuck Norris movies, action movies. I love comedies. I even got a few dramas over there too. But anyway, I like mob movies. I like all different kinds of flicks, folks, but I keep coming back to the horror genre. Mainly because, I think it's because I grew up in the late 70s and all through the 80s were my formative years. I grew up during that great slasher era, where we had the main camps of Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, you name it. We had all the great ones. That came along in between the standalone movies that we all know and love. The Prowler, Maniac. You name it. I could go on all day and name the titles. But my point about this is I wanted to start something called Horror Vlog. I'm going to do this in a numbered format and just do it ever so often in between my movie reviews and my goof-off videos that I put together every once in a while. Mainly to kind of break it up and basically pose questions to my subscribers, and mostly just get your feedback, folks, because not only do I like to talk about horror movies from time to time and just the special effects behind the scenes and my thoughts on them, but more importantly, what it's about is to get your thoughts. I enjoy getting your comments and getting your feedback. If you agree with my statements or questions or my topics, fine. I want you to talk about it. I want you to leave a little comment or even a video response. I prefer that too. If you disagree with it, please comment video response in the same way. Only, keep it within reason, but there again, I want you to differ with me. If you do, fine, that's great, because that's what makes horror genre talk and reviewing great. That's why I keep coming back to it. This all came clear the other day. So I basically just wanted to sit down for a couple of minutes and just, put myself on camera here and no editing, no cuts, and just kind of tell you my intentions. Just a couple of things I was going to talk about, maybe as a first topic. The one thing I was thinking about the other day, and what kind of spurred the interest in doing a vlog just on horror films or the horror genre, anything, memorabilia, anything. We've been having not too awful much going on in the horror movie business right now. We got some projects coming up. You got H2 and a couple of these other remakes are going to be coming out soon. Okay, we know about that. We're not going to talk about that today. But one thing that came into my mind the other day, this kind of touches base on the whole basis of this. Being that I grew up in the main slasher era, and that's my favorite era of horror movies, it got me thinking about, especially folks my age or my age group, either a little younger or a little bit older, or of any age group for that matter. If you like the movies, you like the movies. But what really got me thinking about it was three main camps of movies that made up like the late 70s on through the 80s and on into the 90s. These camps came clear to me. It was basically primarily Friday the 13th series, the Paramount 8, and you had also, of course, the Nightmare on Elm Street series kicking off in 1984 and running on through the 90s. And you had the Halloween series, which started in the late 70s, early 80s, and then went on hiatus till the late 80s, and then they carried on into the 90s as well. I guess for my first horror vlog topic, folks, I wanted to talk about what camp were you? Where did you fall into? Which movies did you usually side with? Was it Halloween series, or the original Halloween series, or was it the Friday the 13th series, or Nightmare on Elm Street? Were you a Michael Myers fan? Were you a Jason fan, Jason Voorhees? Or were you a hardcore Freddy Krueger fan? I just know I can tell you my personal favorite of that. I don't want to sway anybody's comments or anything. I want you to be honest and tell me what you guys were. Being that we're just vlogging and goofing off here, I mean, be honest. Tell me who you like the best and why. Give reasons to back up your statements. Tell me why. Personally, I got to go with Friday the 13th. I have just as many Halloween movies in the series, and Nightmare on Elm Street's got about all those as well. In fact, I think I do. I finally rounded out my series this past year. But folks, I always keep coming back to the Friday the 13th movies because they're closer to my heart, because I remember being a young kid, and I'll tell you a little background, a little story here. The way I got into seeing a lot of these R-rated horror movies, or even unrated movies for that matter, is back in the late 70s, early 80s era, where the R rating wasn't as strenuous as it is now, where you get to show an ID and all that stuff. I still get carded. I'm 33 years old, folks, and I get carded every time I go to the movies. I like it, and I'm flattered, but I got to tell you, to go along with that, back in the day, all they had to do was get away from a parent in the parking lot from the car, and then you were in. You didn't really, you got a ticket, that was it. At least it was in the South, where I live here in North Carolina. Or, your older cousins. Your older cousins would always say, hey, let's take the little kids, let's take them to the movie, let's go see a Friday the 13th, or a Nightmare on Elm Street, or whatever was out at the time. So I got into seeing a lot of these movies. Thank God I got the chance to experience them first time they were out in the movie theaters. I'm very proud to say that. But I got to side with Friday the 13th mainly because it just was it was an enjoyable series, especially during my formative years. That core first 5 that just had that same feeling for me. You just feel like it had the same production values, or it had I don't know, it just felt the same whenever I watched those first 5 Friday the 13th movies. I can even go through the line of the Paramount 8 and tell you my favorites. I'm going to have to go with Friday the 13th Part 3, then go to 2, then the Part 1, then go to 4 and 5 equally in terms of taste and liking. And then I got to go with 7, 6, and 8. I like Part 6 and 7 and 8. I mean, I can watch them. 8's definitely my least of the series, as with many fans, but this is not a movie review or anything. This is just kind of giving you my thoughts on the series and kind of telling you my reasons why, too. I like the Friday the 13th films because I just never get tired of them. I never really get tired of Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, but Nightmare on Elm Street was always the kind of more flamboyant, more artsy, more kind of, especially after Part 3 and on. I mean, it got more comedic, it got more studio, out there in your face. What is Freddy going to say next in his one-liners? Kind of like the action hero or superhero of the horror genre during that time. Jason, of course, never really said anything in his movies, so you just had more of a gritty nature, even whenever it got a little more comedic in the later years, whenever he became, zombie Jason and all that. But even then, there was always that undertone of grittiness. You actually had some genuine scares in the movies still on into the New Line cinema days too. Halloween, you can't get better. I mean, it really, Halloween always, it's the beginning of the genre. John Carpenter started it, as far as taking cues from other movies. Like, I like to think he probably took cues from Black Christmas, and we had the greats. I mean, we had Black Christmas, we had Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we had, had those great 70s, standalone movies of their time. And basically, they really got the doors opened up for all these run-of-the-mill slashers that came later. But in terms of series and which ones that you like better, of those 3 main series that came about through the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s, would you go with Halloween series, Friday the 13th, or the Nightmare on Elm Street series? Now, I'm not saying you may like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and say screw it all. That's fine. But out of these 3, and what the topic of this first horror blog is about, give me your thoughts and your answers on that. I got to go with Friday the 13th because it's just what I'm closest to. I saw the most of in the movie theaters, and just what I personal preference. So there again, I'm going to stop yapping. I want to see your thoughts, comments below, preferably some video responses. There again, I hope you enjoyed the horror blog first time out. I'm going to keep practicing. Maybe I'll get a little bit better next time. pick out some better topics or whatnot. Getting a little long into it now, so take care, folks. Until next time, we'll catch you later for horror vlog number 2. Take care, folks.